Hi guys, it's Casey from Coding Kid today, and I'm going to do another old-fashioned review. And special bonus, we have this original iPad, the iPad 1.
On the streets, when we were young, we used to mess it up. We ran from the police, don't know why we did it.
Hi guys, it's Casey from Coding Kid, and welcome back. We're having a special classic review and a special added bonus. We are going to add in this original iPad. See it, the original iPad. And if you are careful enough to look around, look at the sensors, look around, or not just looking at that big bulky frame, you would have seen a big difference between this and this. They're both 9.7-inch iPads, but there is no camera. No camera. And if you look down on the bottom, you'll see how thick and bulky it is. And also, it has this outer frame that bumps out in the middle. So let's just jump in, get started, and then I'll go through the spec sheet and I'll tell you some of the amazing things about all these amazing iPads and tablet computers. So this year, at the beginning of the year, at March 24th, Apple talked about it and released the iPad 5th generation. So the starting price, if you want to get it, is $329 US. So the $329 unit gives you 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's very interesting because right here, you can even see it. It says 32 gigs of RAM. The original iPad in 2010, only base model came with 16 gigs, could have been upgraded to 64. Very interesting. Apple doesn't like to bring up your RAM. So let's jump in and I'll tell you some of the pros and cons about this iPad. This iPad, many people say it's very similar to the iPad Air 2, except it has Touch ID and the CPU is upgraded. The iPad Air had the A9 compressor chip, and while this iPad 5th generation had the A9 chip. They both are amazing iPads. And also, one of the things, if you're just looking for an iPad, someone's offering you a really great deal on the iPad Air 2 or the iPad Air, this is one of the best deals to get. For most people, 32 gigs will be around okay. At $330, this is an amazing iPad to use. It is fast, something that many people don't like, that you can even see where the display breaks. It's called a non-laminated display. I don't think this even has. This is laminated. So you can see the difference around the corners, edges. There'll be a tiny black line, but then look at the huge black line right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. You can see where the display breaks on the other thing. So, another thing that this is very great at, this is very close to a budget-friendly iPad. So this has the A9 chip. So the speed and everything, all the performance. If anyone knows about the 6S, or heard of 6S, or you've seen a 6S, 6S and this have about the same speed. So another thing about this, very fast, it's a 9.7-inch. That means, for people that don't know as much about new iPads, this is a very big screen iPad. It's a big screen iPad. It's not very big screen iPads, the big screen iPads. All for a $329. Also, many people say that this is the cheapest iPad to ever go around. That is not true. This is one of the cheapest 9.7-inch iPads that you can get. The Mini 2 sold for $269. This thing has 2 gigs of memory, similar to the 6S, and a 2048 by 1536 pixel per inch density. That means that's how good the display is. The display is a very good display for 2017. It runs and fully supports iOS 11. Runs beautifully. You open things up. Multitasking still works. You can open up your music and everything. Next fun thing is that this does not have True Tone. It lacks a lot of features that the iPad Pro and other devices were more known for. True Tone, and also the camera. The camera, you know how I said it's very similar to the 6S? I was wrong in the camera range. The camera on this is a horrible camera. So, let's see. Let's see how bad it can. If you've seen cameras that are bad, you're going to be wrong about the iPad lineup, except the Pro. If you can see before, you can see pixels in the photo. If you zoom this much, you will see pixels. Can you all see pixels in the photo? Go a little bit this way. Look closely. You will see pictures. Let me snap a photo. There's pixels right there, all around. You can see miniature little pixels. The camera is horrible. The rear is an 8 megapixel camera. You know what's very interesting about that? Many 6S, many of those devices have an 8 megapixel front camera, the FaceTime camera. So this thing will shoot at 1080p at 30 FPS. That is something very sad. 1080p, everyone knows, is HD. The 6S, while it's a very old phone camera, this is 2017 brand new, very new iPad. Almost getting to be a year old now. The 6S, released in 2015, is now almost 3 years old. And 3 years, 15, 16, 17, 18, almost becoming 4 years old now. But 4 years, 3 years, kind of in the between, 3 years old. So that camera can record at 4K at 60 FPS. 4K. This can record at 1080p at 60 FPS. At 30 FPS. That is a big range of pixels. This has HDR and a 2.4 thing, and it's a 5-element lens, video stabilization, and optical image stabilization. The front camera, well, Apple has said a lot all about how their cameras are recording at 1080p. This is an HD camera. It's pretty much the camera you'll find on most iMacs. So this is a 1.2 megapixel camera. That is a very low and very blurry camera. Look at that. This, you can see even more pixels done. You can see pixels everywhere. The light and dark gamut is very bad. And this graphics is able to play most games fairly well. Most modern games will work well. You'll have a good time playing GTA, and most games in those range at high settings will work fine. Most games will run fine. The graphics is a Power VR graphics card. It'll run fine most games, and it's a very fast, very practical iPad. Apple might release a new version of it later this year, but it's very practical. It has Bluetooth 4.0, not the newest Bluetooth 5.0, but something that's a big bummer about this iPad, something that I really don't like, is that it has the old headphone jack. The headphone jack, I would be millions of rants about it. Why would you put a headphone jack in an iPad released in 2017, and in the iPhone 7, you don't see a reason to put it? Really, Apple, you have to. You really have to. Another thing, if the headphone jack is something in Apple's keynote in 2016, when they were releasing the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, They said that the headphone jack is almost a century old. That's one of the reasons they should take it out of the iPhone 7. Okay, that's a reason, Apple. Then in your iPad, is it still a century old? Because it really feels like Apple thinks the headphone jack's a century old in their iPhone 7, but they don't think it's a century old in the iPad. Mostly the reason would be that the headphone jack doesn't take up much space in the iPad, so they keep it. That's a very bad reason, and that's why they really shouldn't do it. This iPad, the one that I got, was 128 gigabytes. Because for many things, many applications fill up this iPad. Like when you download your Snapchat, all those applications, they fill up your iPad. Another thing is that this has stereo speakers. That means the speakers are louder and better. And that's why I think that this is one of the best budget-friendly iPads of like 2017 and 2018 era. Even at the beginning of 2018, it may be a very practical iPad to do. Also, you can have an engraving done. When you buy it directly from Apple, there's engraving. It comes in Wi-Fi plus cellular, and it's a wonderful iPad to get. So, another thing is that when you're buying an iPad, be sure to pick up a case with it. Because when we bought our iPad, we went to the Apple store. I walked there, and I actually bought it online. So when I went online, I was looking at cases, and Apple had their own case. Apple is very good with cases. My iPhone X has a case, and those are really great. They hold on nicely. They're very protective. So we went to the Apple store. We got our case. We ordered it online. Online, go there right now. You won't see any pictures of how it's not a full case. You see this? This is a full case. It has a back, it has a front. You slip your iPad in, it doesn't shake it or anything. This is not a full case. Let me open it up and let me show you. Oh, it's not a full case. This is my iPad. I put it on. It's a magnetic case, so it slips on like this somewhere here. Practically impossible to slide on somewhere here. Okay, I think it's like this. Put it on. No, wrong way. The other one is also very impossible to make sure you're putting it on the right side. Still the wrong side. It's magnetic. That means there's no back side. This is your face. There's a front, but no back. So you open it up, it wakes. But the sides, you do it, it just holds on that. So with lots of ruffling, you put it down, the back will get damaged. This is aluminum, the aluminum will break. This is what happened to our iPad after some time using it. You get a little dent. But this case, because it's held on by magnets, not by force, you're using it, you pull it up, and it slips. It comes off very easily. You don't even have to put in 1 minute of effort to get it off. Or even with some shaking, it'll come off. Even with some shaking, it'll come off easily. Next, this is a very nice case, a normal case. You slip it onto your iPad, hold it in. The red looks great with the gold, and it still has the magnetic turn on, and it protects the back of your iPad. This case would hold like this, and hold like this. This is all it would do. But it's a very soft case, and I'm past my 14-day return, so I can't do anything about it. That's all, and in the comment section below, tell me all you want and what you think about this 2017 iPad. Thanks and bye.